Okay, we should be back and everything should be okay. One thing setbacks is not one thing setbacks is not gonna do is hinder me from giving you guys high quality content. So let's get into it. You guys should be able to hear me loud and clear. Made sure I changed everything over. This was supposed to be a pre-record. Like I said, I went live and yeah, y'all saw how that worked out. It really didn't work out. So make sure you guys like and support the channel so we can get better internet around this motherfucker. But anyway, some things that I wish that probably I was told, but didn't really listen, so it happens. Some things that I wish I was told. Jumping into the electronic music game, about sequencers and groove boxes and things of that sort. So, if you guys were tuning into that live stream, the first thing I told you guys, the first thing that you have to recognize is a sequencer, and all sequencers are different. But if you learn how to use a sequencer, you've mastered about 25% of the machine. You know, once you learn how to use sequencers, it gets a lot better because once you learn how to use sequencers, you can truly have fun with that machine. Also, I wanted to show you guys something. I think Freebeat or Loop Pop or I think Red Means Recording or Gabe Miller talked about this. If anything, subscribe to those to the channels of those names that I just named. You guys will get way more knowledge from them than you probably would from me because I also am still a student. Two of my favorite groove boxes here from Electron. And make sure you guys support the channel because I definitely want a Syntax, which is kind of like these two groove boxes put together, sort of. Actually, I'm over my head saying that. No, it's totally different when you really think about it, really. But support the channel, and maybe we can talk about it. So the first thing, like I said, you guys want to identify when you look at a groove box is a sequencer, and usually it has about 16 steps. So when you see anything counting to the number 16, that's usually let me get my microphone together. That's usually the sequencer. So when you look at a groove box, number one, the first thing. Hold on, let me brighten this up. Let's see. Hold on, there we go. That's not that bad, is it? Okay. So the first thing you want to identify is the sequencer that goes from steps 1 all the way to 16. Second thing you want to identify is your volume button. Where is the volume? And sometimes it would say main volume. Like right here it says main volume. You want to identify your volume button. Okay? Also, you want to identify your stop, your record, and your play, your stop, and record. Red means recording. You want to identify your record, your play, and your stop. So you want to be able to start the track, stop the track, and you want to be able to record the track. The record button, all record buttons on different groove boxes are different. The record button basically arms the track so you can punch in your steps, and it will record it. You know, it'll record the steps. Groove boxes like this that doesn't have a keyboard, which it does have a keyboard, which is this, but basically doesn't have a keyboard, but it does have a keyboard if you need one. When the record button is not armed, then you can kind of play it as if it's as if it's a keyboard, which a lot of people complain, or a lot of people get what's called a MIDI controller that does have a keyboard, and they hook it up to this, and then they can really have fun with the engines here. So you want to identify your sequencer first, your volume button, your play, your stop, and your record. Okay. Also, with the record button, if you want to do things live, usually you could hold the record button and press play, and that will be able to you can play. Now this can be a piano for a little bit, and you can punch in your what you would like to do or what you would like to hear. Also, these sequencers, they go up to 32 and 64. Usually they top out at 64. So it's not just 16 steps, So if you want a longer pattern, or you want your your steps to be a little bit more complex, definitely that's what that is for. You don't have to learn everything else. Everything else will come naturally with practice and honestly what you're trying to do. Do not wreck your brains over what everything else is, because a lot of people do, and these boxes may seem more intimidating than they really are. Also, and we're gonna get into everything else also, but you want to learn what everything is, because these are all pop words. Music is filled with math, pop words, creation, art, all kinds of different things. So you want to learn what swing is and nudge, and what an LFO is, and what oscillators are, and attack, decay, sustain, release, shape, reverb, delay. You want to know what those things are, but those are things that you can also play with and also study, separate. Okay, so don't kill yourself over that. Okay, so you want to go in order, which is understand what a sequencer is. Once you learn how to use a sequencer, you definitely has mastered, for the most part, 25% of the machine, and you can definitely have fun with everything else. You want to learn how to use a sequencer. Okay, definitely your volume, record, play, and stop. Another thing you want to learn is your metronome. You definitely want to learn the metronome, because you want to learn how fast it's going to cover the 16 steps. Some cursors will cover it faster, some more slow, and that depends on your beats per minute. Okay, so you have your sequencer, you have your volume, you have your record, you have your play, and you have your stop. Also, what you want to learn later on is how much machines or how much tracks you have. Each groove box has a different, set of tracks. This one in particular has 6. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's safe to say that this groove box has 6 machines. 6 different synthesizers, 6 different engines. It depends on what you want to have in your. It's like, think of it as you're a chef and you're making gumbo. You're making soup. You're making a soup, and you're gonna have your potatoes. You're gonna have your broth. You might have some meat. You might have some vegetables. You might have some. This is why they say cooking up, because your sequencer is literally gonna be your pot. Your sequencer is like, okay, what are you gonna throw in? Where is it gonna be? How are you gonna stir it? What's it gonna sound like? Kind of look at your sequencers like that. Usually your tracks are usually how much how much engines that you have. This is the chicken, this is the broth, this is the broccoli, this is the vegetables, this is the meat, this is the potatoes. You want to look at it like that. So in certain groove boxes and stuff like that, it has double than what you see here. So you just got to get to know your groove box and know what instrument you're using, because every single groove box is its own instrument. Okay, now some groove boxes are more complicated. Some groove boxes are complicated via track and my bad, I'm burping, y'all. Via track or via sequencer. And some groove boxes are complicated with both, and then not even that, your pitch and, all kinds of different stuff, especially this one. This is a different type of groove box. But what I wanted to show you guys today, and I think that all groove boxes should have it, is the temporary save button. Right here, it says temporary save, and yes, it's dusty. I need to wipe it off. Could you believe I left my duster back in America? But we're in sunny Thailand, so I gotta find a duster, right? The temporary save button, this is a really good button, especially when you're beginning and you're getting into music production. Both machines have it, and both machines, like I said, are Electron. All right, now temporary save button is right here. And what the temporary save button does is basically save what you have going on or what you have so far um, to a temporary save area. Doesn't save it fully, but it saves it to a temporary save area. And what that does is it enables you to explore. What I mean by explore is you can make as much mistakes as you want and figure out what that button does, what this knob does. You can turn all the knobs in one direction and blah, blah, blah. You can make all the mistakes you want. And when you feel that you destroyed or created something, you can also add to it, or you can just get rid of it. You can just click the where you have your temporary save, which I'll show you later on, where you have your temporary save, and go back to where you started. So that endless possibilities, infinite possibilities. That means you can do everything that you want or don't want and still not pay for it, basically. So that is a great tool to have when you're creating music and when you're just experimenting with stuff, because somebody said that a beat and just beat production and making music is just you're just adding stuff to it until you just feel like you don't have to add anything to it anymore. Now, one thing I have not mastered on this particular groove box, because I am no expert, is the sound pool. Because we have 4 tracks. We have 4 tracks right here. So we have 4 different things we can add to our gumbo bass line. But you can also do what's called a sound pool, which basically is making a pot for a track. And when you make a pot for a track, you can add drums, or you can add drums. You can add all kinds of different things on one track. So one track is more complex, and that sequencer, remember I told you. Well, let's get into it like this, and I'll explain it a little bit more deeper. Where's the sequencer on this groove box upon looking at it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Anything that you see counting to 16 is the sequencer. But also, if you notice, all of these buttons aren't lit up because, like I said, this is also a keyboard. To save real estate on these boxes, sometimes they build the keyboard into the sequencer, which is pretty neat. But a lot of people like it, a lot of people don't. But you can't argue, it does save you real estate. And you still got a keyboard, right? And this is why boxes like this come with keys. You have something called the Digitone keys. So this is the Digitone, my favorite groove box from Electron. Also, ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release. Not all of them have to say A, D, S, and R, but a lot of the knobs and the buttons definitely really replaces that. You just got to kind of know what you're looking for and why you're looking for it, and kind of have an idea of what it does. So you see 4 right here, ADSR. Now, this isn't necessarily ADSR, but if you see something with 4 knobs on it, definitely you can assume that it's ADSR. When I show you guys, let's say, hold on. When I show you guys another sequencer, a synthesizer, and all of these are from Sweden, by the way, which is the OPZ. Remember, you have to count. This is the sequencer right here, even though it doesn't have the numbers. But let's see. And let's do this. Oh, never mind. This is the sequencer right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. See that? Keyboard right here. 16 keys. Right? And these are the black keys right here, obviously, because they're black. So, real estate on certain boxes are different. But look, 4 ADSR. And you gotta know, see how that is? And you gotta know your see how it's 4? You gotta know your machine, because they change certain things up. Like they add different parameters to these encoders right here, which on here is like quantize, speed and stuff like that, and you can always change to them. You can always change to them. And then look, like I said, you gotta know your volume. The volume knob is right here. This is a microphone, by the way. That's why that's lighting up. This is the mic right here, which is kind of pretty dope. This thing is fucking dope. I'm sorry. Anyway, always something new to figure out. So you have your play, you have your stop, and you have your record. Remember, circle, record, triangle, play, box, stop. And this is a step sequencer, so you have your plus and your negative. You have a whole bunch of different stuff, and these are your tracks. So also you want to identify your tracks. How much engines does your groove box have? So this has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks. These are also tracks also, but these all do different things. Like the performance track. So we're gonna go over that a little bit later in another show. But what I'm telling you is that, when you're looking at all these groove boxes and stuff, and let me not forget to turn this off because that's what happened last time. You want to be able to identify certain things so that all of this stuff is not overwhelming to you, because making electronic music and being a beginner, all of this stuff will be overwhelming. Some companies, like I said, do it better than other ones, but you never know. Also, OP1. Even some companies, they kind of show it on here. This plastic, I kept the plastic for the OP1. Kind of shows everything, tape speed. Even I have to look, Same thing, ADSR. Now, this one actually has a keyboard on it, okay? This one actually has a sequencer, but the sequencer is not, is built in. It's not actual visible where you're going to watch it go through, go through. I mean, it is, but you have to go. It's a certain page, but you're not gonna watch it go through all 16 steps. Not like that. But look, you have your record, your play, and your stop. Okay. And this uses more of a tape type of recording style, so not all of them are gonna be the same. But look at this. You have your tracks, which is 4. This has 4 also. Okay. Navigation, your arrows and stuff like that. This has arrows also. Like I said, you have your keyboard and you have your black keys. But look, you got 1, which is your synth, which this thing has a bunch of engines on it. Not necessarily certain amount, but it has a lot. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Yeah. So, you kind of get, and those aren't all the, it's not a sequencer, so I wouldn't expect to have 16, but you only have 4 tracks, which you can see right here, but it's confusing. This is the worst thing to actually try to explain to y'all, because this thing is quirky, and so is the other stuff. But it's actually not bad trying to use it. It's actually not bad trying to use it to explain to y'all, because, it's just trying to show you guys not to be intimidated by what you see, because the layout of everything is going to be different, okay? So we have our sequencer right here, right, which is basically the majority of the box. We have a sequencer right here. We have our tracks right here. Page, remember, 16 steps. Remember, you can go to 32. You can go to 64, either or, right? You have your play, your stop, your record, and then you also have your metronome. All of the things that I told you have to look out for, and then you have your volume. Now, also to certain tracks, you'll have volumes for that particular track, because certain sounds you want to be louder than other sounds, or certain sounds you want to stick out. You want it to be more louder than other sounds, pop out more than other sounds. Don't worry about the extra stuff when you're beginning. But if you're using an Electron box, like I said, you want to learn how to use a temporary save, because this will allow you to explore and be as creative as you would like to be. So Let's play with the sequencer real quick. Like I said, this is the sequencer, and it's also a piano. When you don't have a okay, that's a bit loud. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, let's do this. Okay. Anyway, like I said, you know you have your sequencer here, and you have your oh, one thing I said in the other video I didn't I don't want to forget to tell y'all. Okay. Usually, when you do use your sequencer, I like to do something called 4 on the floor, where I put 4 on the floor. Usually, those buttons will stand out to kind of show you where you are with your sequencer. All sequencers, their buttons stand out. On the OPZ, there's usually a line under the numbers when you use them. Now, if you look on here, there's a line under all of them, but certain keys has an actual circle or other parameter around them. See how this one has it and this one doesn't? This one has it, this one doesn't. This one has it, this one doesn't. And they're usually beside each other or 4 steps from each other. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, God damn it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, shit. Hold on. This is so weird because this sequencer is a little bit different. So 1 is the step. That's what I meant. So 1, that's 1. 2, 3, 4, blang, 2, 3, 4, boom, 2, 3, 4, boom, 2, 3, 4. So, you know, look, we're all learning, okay? When you try to count it, it can mess you up, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, because it's a piano also, so you got to make sure you know how to count your keys, but they're usually close to each other. 4 on the floor, no problem. Now it sounds better with drums. We'll switch it to the drums at some point, but let's put 4 on the floor. So what you want to do, like I said, when you hit your record button, it arms the track. So have you noticed everything got dark because the track is armed now? Take it off, it unarms the track. Armed, unarmed. Armed, unarmed. When you have your recording button pressed and you have a sequencer, nothing is gonna pop up until you feed it notes. Sequencers, you have to feed them notes, or you can do it live. So if I want to do 4 on the floor, I would want to same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that goes with your metronome. See how this red button is blinking right here? That's your metronome. So like I said, you want to learn how to identify certain things. Your metronome is your BPM, because you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can do it fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's really the speed of the beat. Your BPMs is how fast you want the beat to go. Your pace of the beat, okay? So, and certain tracks could have different paces and stuff like that, but overall, you want to have a pace. So, let's do 4 on the floor. So, you'll press 1, right? 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I can unarm the track, or when I press play, these notes that I program, because you got to learn how to program the sequencer. That's going to be your biggest challenge. Learn what a sequencer is, what one can do, and also learn how to program it. So now you're going to hear it go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. See how that works? Now, do you need to put something in the sequencer to get that sound? Of course not. That's what you have the metronome for. So let's take all of the notes off of the sequencer, right? And let's go to the metronome. Now the beats per minute is 120, and the metronome, Let me see if I can turn the metronome on so you guys can hear it. So let me see. How do you turn the metronome on? And you can tap tempo if you wanted. If you have a beat in your head and you want to kind of tap it, the metronome you could kind of tap it in your head, and the metronome will basically you'll hear it. But let's see. See if we can hear the metronome. Hold on. I usually, all of these boxes are different. I usually know how to do it. Hold on. Hold on. I'm changing the, we want to go back to, hold on, y'all. We want to go back to, anyway, my bad. As you see, I changed the BPM to 239 to 259. Let's see if we can my bad. I want to show y'all a little bit. I wanted to show y'all something. Oh, damn it. Now I'm fucking up. Hold on, y'all. You can change how you want the beat to go. So, like I said, the metronome determines how fast you want it to go. If I program the sequencer, you'll see it's faster now. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. What I wanted to show y'all though, because I literally didn't have to do that. Now it's at 271. It could get real crazy. So look. What I wanted to show y'all though, and it's kind of weird to find it, especially on this box. But like I said, all boxes are different. That's what she said. You want to learn how to you want to basically learn how to use your metronome. But I forgot what menu it is. There's a menu on here where you could turn the metronome on. So the metronome is going on the BPMs. So it's not literally in the song. You don't have to literally punch it in and see what the metronome is doing. See what I'm saying? And I don't know why it's not here. Usually there's a setting for it, and you can turn it off and turn it on. Cause I usually don't use it because it gets annoying. But there it is. This is so weird. It's down here, y'all. So you want in this case, cause this is a sleek box. You want to use function right here, and you want to hit that, and that'll turn on the metronome. Now, you want to do active, okay? So my sequencer is going because this is playing, but you want to do active. So and this basically controls that. So now you can hear a clicking. That's the metronome. That's the metronome. And other metronomes, you can slow down the time signatures. Or you can speed them up. I usually just keep it simple. Okay? And this is you want to use the metronome because no matter what you add to your beat, you want to make sure it's on beat. So the metronome is one of those cool tools to make sure that you're on beat. And also, if you like to, make music at the beat of your own drums, you can kind of see when you're offbeat or how offbeat you are or how it would sound just slightly being offbeat. And you can build your beat as much as you want using the metronome. And then when you feel you're done, you just turn, when you feel you're done, you just turn the metronome off, But it'll let you know, okay, if I want to put 4 on the floor, I can just and I can follow it also. Pretty useful tool. Okay? So You want to learn how to program your sequencer, and you also hold on. You want to learn how to program your sequencer, and you also want to learn how to use a metronome. Okay, so hell, well, before we get up out of here, let's make a beat. Like I said, you got different tracks and stuff like that. I like to do 4 on the floor, and we got different sounds. So even myself, I got to learn how to use my sound pool. So let's get a kick. Let's get some kicks. Thug kick. And these are the octaves. So let's keep this one. And let's do 4 on the floor. You know, I always do 4 on the floor. Because it's just so easy. So. And let's add some more steps on. Instead of 16, let's go up to 64. And sometimes if you have a good machine like this, it'll add it for you. Let's go up to 64. Okay. And in the middle, let's go to a different page. And this will show you what page it's on too. And you can cycle through the pages if you like. But let's go to let's see, you gotta be in record mode to go to the page. Let's go to page 3. And let's add some more. Let's add another one. And each sequencer is different, so I don't want these two to trigger all the time. So what I do is I like to go to the trigs. I go right here. I can put both of them in, but I go right here. I go to this step, and I do trig conditions because like I said, every sequencer is different. I want to trigger this half the time, so I put this on 50%, and I'm gonna put this on 50%. So every so often, these two are gonna trig. And sometimes one will trigger and one won't trigger. Like one will trigger and one will trigger. And if you want, you can do, if one triggers, the next one triggers, but it doesn't, this one doesn't trigger and that's that. You can, it gets real complicated. So let's keep what we got here. See what else we got. Okay, let's see what other sounds we got. Let's go to filter. Let's take the kicks off. Let's do snares. I don't use snares. Let's go. Sad thing is that I can have all of these on one track. I need to learn how to use my sound pool. And these are all from the engine. Like the this box uses FM synthesis, so this box creates all these sounds. So. Now, I want to make that sound I want to make that sound. I don't know the pattern. I don't know how to let's say because I don't know the pattern on I don't know how to plug that into the sequencer to and I want to do it live. So what I do is I hold the record button and I press play. I just add it, and I make sure I keep up with where I'm at on my track. So now I didn't save it, so it's using the default sound. But once I press yes, my snare will come in. Cool. And what I just did right there, I just added on. I'm gonna put the arpeggio back on it, so it'll kind of spread it out, which is pretty cool. And the cool thing about the sequencer is, it was especially electron sequencers and sequencers in general, it'll kind of show you the pattern. Even though the pattern's not always accurate, but it'll show you the pattern. And I did all of them on beat for the most part, or quantized it. So if I go to every single page that I did, the pattern is basically identical, but it's live. I did it live. So, but for that track, because that was track number 2, I want to add the arpeggiator on that track. See how when I go back to track 1, it's not there, and it'll kind of spread it out. Check it out. That's fucking tight. All right. And the cool thing with because I love the trig conditions, so like I said, once you learn your sequencer and you can start playing around with certain things. What we're gonna do right now, so I'm gonna show you. Okay, let's play with that snare. So for the snare, let's what we're gonna do is we're gonna do function and we're gonna save pattern. This is what I want to show y'all. We're gonna do function and save pattern. When you look at the top, it says save to temporary area. That means now this is saved, and I can edit and do whatever I want to it as much as possible. And if I don't like what I did to it, or I destroyed it, or ruined the sound, I can always go back to reload pattern and it'll go right back. So let's do this. Let's play with that snare, that tat 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 tat. Let's play with that, and let's do it 50. Let's have it trigger every 50%. The whole thing, not each individual snare, but the whole thing. So let's. See now how it's all triggering 50% of the time. That's tight. And let's add some reverb. Actually, let's put it at 100% of the time. Let's add some reverb and stuff to it, some character. Let's see what we get. Some delay. Ooh. Sound like the Kevin Samuels slap. Some reverb to it. Add some drive. Look, attack, decay, sustain, release. Left and right air. Left and right air. Now this thing, it uses FM synthesis, so it has algorithms on all the synths. You got synth 1, synth 2. these right here. These are the algorithms. Like I said, it will get more complicated, but hey, let's play around with it. Let's see. That's pretty cool because it kept the reverb. So like I said, you can make it as complicated as you want, but it doesn't have to be as complicated as a lot of you guys think it is. And I mean, I can make this, I can make this thing real complicated. Look at this. Change the signal. Detune it. Change the tune. And let's say I destroyed it. Let's go back to our original. That's our original. Let's go back to our original pattern. So the function, reload pattern. Now it's back to the regular pattern. No reverb, no decay, no release, no nothing. Back to the original algorithm. This shit is wild, man. Like I said, you can do whatever. Let's tweak it a different way and see what we can do with this. So let's just add some delay onto it. A little bit of reverb. Having a little bit too much fun, y'all. Let's say I don't like this. Go right back. It's like the ultimate undo button. Well, that was today's show. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. I guess I taught you guys, I don't know what I taught you guys today. Remember, I taught you guys a bunch of stuff. Well, let's kind of do a recap from what I remember, what we were talking about today. Remember, make sure when you're looking at a groove box, you know how to recognize what certain things is. The first thing you want to recognize, and I'm going to teach you guys how to program any type of synthesizer just about. I'm still learning also, so, if you guys are music heads and synth heads and I got something wrong or there's something else I could have said, just let me know. You want to identify your sequencer first because that's going to be the heart of anything that you're using. That sequencer is gonna be how you make your music. So you want to learn the workflow of that sequencer and what you can do with it. You want to identify your volume button. All right, you want to be able to hear what you're doing, right? You want to be able to identify your play, your stop, your record, and you also want to be able to identify how much tracks you have. So you have your tracks, which is your engines basically. And that's what produces the sounds and the music and stuff like that. That's where you're going to be getting your drums, your synths and everything from. You want to be able to identify your sequencer, stop, go, play, record. You definitely want to identify your volume button, and the cherry on top, you want to identify your metronome. Definitely want to identify your metronome. Okay, that was today's show. Let's get it. Let's go. Let's player talk. All right.